Hello, it's Emma and welcome to Emma's Crafty Space today. I apologise for my croaky voice in advance. Unfortunately, the change of season has not been very kind to me and I've got a real dose on me. So I apologise in advance for that. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little gift box. It's using the Give It a Whirl dies, which are available in the current annual catalogue. So if I just spin that round, oh, butterfly clip is poking through there, so you can fill this with all your favorite treats in there, and with it having that hole there, it's refillable as well. And then as you turn it around, then you get different sentiments that you can stamp on the different sections as well. So I actually didn't notice this die set in the catalogue, and I think it's because of the stamp set it was coming with. It was more children's orientated, but I actually just really like the die set. I haven't ordered the stamp set because for me it was just too childish. But as you can see, the dies are quite extensive in that you have this larger piece here, so that is for your if you're wanting to do this in a card, and then there's a little divot there for you to turn your wheel. This is your main wheel here, and it also has the little hole in there for the center for a brad. Then you've got all these, obviously these dies that would maybe coordinate with the stamp set. You've got this beautiful scallop circle here, and all the dies are stitched as well, which to me is another plus. You've got stars, you've got hearts, you've got little arrows. You have arrow stitching as well. You've got one there and one there and some there, and then you've got little dies that cut out arrows. Then you've got these, so these are part of the sections that you cut out. Now the thing that's quite novel with these is they actually have a circle there so that you can marry that up, and it has it with the square one, the circle one and the heart one, and then obviously this section as well. So it means then whenever you are cutting out your sections that you just marry it up to that center, and it makes it quite easy for you. So I'm just going to leave this one out because I still need this one for some of the project. I'll put this away. So I have teamed this project up with Heartwarming Hugs DSP, which is a returning favourite from last year. So you can see my pack has definitely been getting a lot of use. And again, this project's ideal for using up your little scraps, especially for the side panels of the box. So it is handy. So we'll make a little start, and I'll give you some measurements that you're going to need. Okay, so some things that you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of cardstock. So I use, this one's Old Olive, but real red, any of the colours that are in that Heartwarming Hugs DSP set. So it measures 5.5 by 10 inches, and I'll give you the score lines whenever I'm doing the scoring on the scoreboard. You're going to need 2 of these discs. You need a white one and the one that matches that, and you're going to need to cut those sections out of them as well. You maybe need your trimmer, and if you prefer a scoreboard, use your scoreboard, or you can use your scoring tool on your scoreboard. So this one I'm going to go with Old Olive. This piece of cardstock measures 10 inches by 5.5 inches. Yep. So I'm going to use my small end of my scoring tool, and I'm going to score 1 inch. Obviously this is the short side, and then we're going to score at 4.5 inches. Okay, so that's 1 inch and 4.5. That just means you've got 1 inch of a crease at either side. And we're going to turn it onto the long side, and we're going to score at 1 inch, 4.5 inches, 5.5 inches, and then 9 inches. Okay, so that's 1 inch, 4.5, 5.5, and 9. So you can put your scoreboard away, and you're going to need your paper snips, and you are going to cut these 2 sections out completely. Okay, you don't need these. Then we are going to cut in here, and you can wedge these as well. So just be small wedges. Like that. Just means when you're putting your box together, it goes together a bit more neatly. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so just set that down and you can see what it looks like. I'll clear that. Okay, so next stage is I'm going to glue this down here. As I say, this is the Heartwarming Hugs DSP. So you can say whatever ones you want to use. Projects like this are a great way of showcasing the DSP because you can do different ones on each section of the box. So just right. So this center, so the top of the box itself measures 3.5 inches. So the DSP, I have just sized it down by 1/8 of an inch. So it is going to be 3 3/8 square. Okay. So for this next step, you are going to need a ruler and a pencil or a marker. Now don't be worrying about making loads of marks on it, because at the end of the day you can always rule them out. So I'm just going to try and find the center of this square, and the reason will become apparent in a second. Okay, so there's my cross piece there. So you're going to need your Big Shot for the next step. And what you're going to do is this little hole here, you're going to marry it up to the center of that X and then wind it through your Big Shot. Okay, so I'm going to get the center here and marry it up. You can tape it down if you feel you need to. You can see now that that's cut that out. Okay, so you're also going to need now obviously to cut a section out of this. So you can see there that the dies have, whenever you wind it through, you're still left with that imprint. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to marry that hole up with that little hole on the die, and you're going to wind that through as well. And the reason you're going to do this is because obviously you need to create the hole down into the box, and you're going to do the same with your top wheel as well. So I'm just going to give a Big Shot again, and we'll cut out these two sections. So again, you're going to marry up that center. Like that. Wind it through. And you'll do the same with the white piece. So as you can see, the dies have been very well thought out. That's perfect. So you can keep all these wee pieces and use them for accents on cards. Just stamp little readings and that onto them and use them on their different projects. Next stage is you need to obviously get a stamp set which has images or greetings that are going to fit in here. I'm using these little treats stamps because they are small and I really like the script on them. Now obviously they're last year's, but I'm sure in your crafty stashes you will have something that you can use. So it just needs to fit inside this section. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there is a I can see the imprint of that just sitting there like that. So as I say, I'm just going to stamp that in here. Okay, so you can see that's in the center of that, and then I'll turn it. now I'm going to pick what DSP I'm going to use on this. You can see there's two sections here that need filled in. So these are just ones that I've had because I've actually been making these up for kits for a Christmas Day event. So I'm just going to put these on. You can choose whatever ones you want. As I say, these are great wee projects for showcasing your DSP. And just use the guide that's already there. I think that's too green. Take this one. Now obviously you need to do all this first before you start putting the box together. Because once you put the box together, you've no way of even pushing the brad down into it. Just using the metallic brads. You can see it's going to work really well. They'll fit in nicely. So now I just need to get a pokey tool and poke out the center of that where I have done my X. And that will find, it'll be perfect then because you've got the center of that already. Okay, so that is basically the top of it. Like that. Just push that down. If you want to, you could tape your brad so that it doesn't, like whenever I'm turning that, sometimes it's moving round. You can tape that so that won't move. Just keep the back on the tape so that it doesn't catch on things inside the box. Hopefully that will hold that in place and it will not move then. No one's going to see inside the box because it's a closed off box. Okay, so let's get our bone folder and crease up all our edges. Okay. So hopefully you can see now it's all going to start taking shape. Again, you can use tape for this. I just like my multi-purpose glue because it's what I'm confident in using and it's strong for what I need it to be. Just marry up your edges, your score lines. Okay. So, because this is the top of the box, you want that to be the flap that's going to fold down last. So to make it a bit stronger, I am actually going to keep my these tabs out. Stick them down like that. And then I'm going to stick that down over the top. Like, put a wee bit extra on there. It just means then you've got nice edges all the way around. And then the closed ones at the bottom, no one's going to see. It also means in there it's nice and neat too for you smoothing everything out, and there's no tabs to kind of catch on anything. So that one goes in first. If you look, that's the top. This one at the bottom goes in first. These two go next. And obviously you can put your finger in here and push them up. And then the top one will be last. Like that. Just square it off. As I say, you can put your hand in and just give it a little bit of help to bond. Okay, now one thing that I have forgotten to do is I've forgotten to stick my white disc down. So afterthought, you can then just go in with your Tombow so that it's not moving with the top disc. So just make sure you marry up your holes there. Okay. We'll do the same on the other side once that bonds. You see, even demonstrators make mistakes. And marry it up there too. So, because that always has to be left open so you can get your sweets in and out. Okay, so now it's just the one moving. Oh dear, this cold really is taking it out of me. I'm not really with it. Okay, so last thing then to do is to decorate your sides, and as I say, I'm just using all my little scraps for this. So these measure 7/8 of an inch by 3 3/8 of an inch. So it's just an 1/8 smaller, and it means then you still get that nice old olive border all the way around them. Obviously you have to do this last because whenever you're putting the box together, you might decide to do it different to the way I put it together. So I would recommend you do this last. Just makes the box a bit more interesting. And that is it, done and dusted. Now obviously you could put a gift tag or a bit of ribbon on it and just make it a bit more interesting, but that is basically the bare bones of my project. So you can see Ho Ho Merry Christmas there. Your sweets are all going to be in here, and then a little treat for someone sweet on the other side because it's going to be filled with goodies. So hopefully I have given you something to try and something to inspire you to use. To actually look outside the box. You don't always have to buy the stamp set with the dies, because as I say, I have not bought the stamp sets for this. It was really the dies that I seen that really stood out to me, and I do think I do like 3D projects. So for me, this was a no-brainer. I really wanted to have a go at this and give it a whirl, as the dies are called. Hopefully I've inspired you to maybe buy them and have a go at making something yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will leave a list of everything that I've used in the description below. If there's anything you need, just shout out and contact me. And there's also a link to my online store there if you don't have a demonstrator of your own and you'd maybe like to buy them. Buy any of the products that I've used, just click on the link and it'll take you straight to my online store. And all that's left to say is thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye bye.